Basically, this is what I expect out of the NFC East. I expect craziness. I expect chaos. I expect the unexpected. That's the NFC East for you. Good morning, NFC. As we see on postgame 5, my name is Kerr, and I am hosting a morning show every day, 7 to 8, and we're going to talk NFC East. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited for what has been the craziest division in football over the last, 18 years. I think we've had one repeat division winner since 2004, and that's the Philadelphia Eagles, and they won the division, obviously, in those Andy Reid years. The NFC East has only had one repeat division winner since 1997. So if you pick the Cowboys to win the NFC East, you probably lost a bet because there's a good chance they won't win this division this year. That's how crazy the NFC East is. I love the division personally. There's so many storylines that go around between the Cowboys, the Commanders, formerly Washington football team, the New York Giants, who have been one of the worst teams in football for the last 5 years. They seem to be on the upswing, but it's going to be a long time for them. And, of course, for a lot of you guys that have tuned in to Birds 365, to Sports Take, the Philadelphia Eagles, who have a good chance to win this division this year. So it's going to be an exciting time for this division. And there's going to be a lot of storylines. Obviously, Carson Wentz back in the division, Tyron Smith being out, you name it, A.J. Brown being in this division now. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to enjoy this, talking 1 hour with you guys every single day of the week. You'll still catch me at times on Birds 365, on Sports Take, on all my other platforms, CBS Sports. My column will be there every single day. I'll have tons of stories from there. So you know where to find me. Just look at Jeff Kerr CBS on Twitter. And, of course, the man behind the scenes and who will be in front, Tone DeShields, the legend, my producer. I love Tone to death. Tone's going to be a huge part of this show. I'm going to have him on a couple segments. I love the guy. I cannot wait to get started here. And basically, this is what I expect out of the NFC East. I expect craziness. I expect chaos. I expect the unexpected. That's the NFC East for you. In a nutshell, I just explained it. Right now, the Dallas Cowboys are favorites to win this division. And they should be. They did win the division last year. They had the division's best quarterback. They have Dak Prescott. No matter what you think of Ezekiel Elliott and his yards per game going down every single year, he's still Ezekiel Elliott, and he's still one of the highest paid running backs in football. And they have a dynamo running back in Tony Pollard. CeeDee Lamb's going to be a stud. Michael Parsons is a stud. Trayvon Diggs, no matter what you think of him, he's still pretty good. He's still a pretty good cornerback. But there are a lot of question marks in Big D, especially on the offensive line. We'll get to that in a bit. But there's a team that really caught up to them last year. And it was over the course of 5 months, the Philadelphia Eagles. You guys know the story with the Eagles. They got A.J. Brown. They got James Bradbury from the Giants. They got Hassan Reddick. They were the big offseason moves. Jordan Davis, Nakobe Dean in the draft. Cam Jurgens in the draft. Dallas lost La'el Collins. Tyron Smith's out. Those are huge, right? Connor Williams is gone. That's 3/5 of an offensive line that, to be quite frank, was kind of overrated to begin with. So now, what do you do if you're Dallas? Eagles fans know more than anybody else, you need a good offensive line to win. Giants fans will tell you that because they haven't had a good one in a lot of years. You need a good offensive line to win. You need a good defensive line to win. I think Dallas has that. DeMarcus Lawrence coming back is going to help. But I think the Eagles made a lot of upgrades this offseason with Hassan Reddick. Josh Sweat coming to his own as a Pro Bowler. You still have Brandon Graham coming back. You have Fletcher Cox, Siobhan Hargrave, Jordan Davis. It's a lot closer than you think. In March, I would have said the Cowboys are probably going to win 11, 12 games, and the Eagles will probably win 10. Now I think the Eagles win 11, and the Cowboys win 10. I mean, I don't want to call the Eagles the favorites in the NFC East because I don't think they are yet because they got to beat the Dallas Cowboys. But Eagles are right there. They are right there. The Commanders are the wild card in this division. I'll be honest with you guys. I think the Commanders have a good chance of going to the playoffs this year. I really do because I don't think the NFC East and the NFC is that strong. And if Carson Wentz can get the processing down if he could stop being Carson Wentz for 3 or 4 weeks, the Commanders might have a shot at going to the playoffs. The NFC East could get 3 teams in the playoffs this year. I truly believe that because of what Carson Wentz can bring to the table. Now, no matter what you think of Antonio Gibson, obviously the Brian Robinson news is very disturbing. It sucks, quite frankly, because he was going to play a huge role in that offense. But Washington's offensive line is an underrated group. Their receivers are good. I mean, anybody in this division will tell you Terry McLaurin might be one of the best receivers, if not the best receiver in the NFC East. You're going to have Kerr Samuel healthy, Jahan Dotson, Penn State grad, stud. Absolute stud. He's going to be huge for that offense. Logan Thomas, underrated tight end. Their defense will have Chase Young for the first couple of weeks. He'll be on the pup list, but they got some players there. Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen. Washington's got some concerns in the secondary, but overall, they're going to be an interesting team. I mean, they can go anywhere from 6 to 9 wins, and I think 9 wins can get you a playoff spot in the NFC. I mean, 9 wins got you a playoff spot in the NFC last year, and let's face it, the NFC isn't as good as the AFC, so watch out for the Commanders this whole year. I'll be talking to you guys about them a lot. And the Giants, man, I don't know what to say. I think they're rebuilding. I do. I love the Brian Dable hire. I love the Joe Shen hire. I think they're on the right track, but there's so much stain from Dave Gettleman and Joe Judge they have to get rid of, starting with the quarterback. Daniel Jones just isn't good, and he doesn't really have anybody to throw to. If you want to be quite honest, Kenny Golladay might be getting cut. And we'll talk about that in a bit. Kadarius Toney's hurt. Sterling Shepard's on the pup. He's going to catch passes. It just can't all be Saquon Barkley, who's been hurt. And when he is healthy, he's been one of the worst running backs in football in terms of carrying the ball. But he's a big play every time. So you got to watch out for him. Obviously, Saquon Barkley, the Giants are going to be better. But I don't know. They weren't good last year. They were one of the worst teams in the league. They averaged less than 10 points per game, I think, the last 6 or 7 games. Can they be significantly better in 2022 with the Eagles, Commanders, and the Cowboys in the division? I don't think so. So it's going to be tough to watch the Giants this year, but I think they're going to have to take their lumps in 2022, and then we'll go from there. But we're still going to talk a lot of Giants this year because the Giants are going to play these teams 6 times. So they're going to play the Eagles twice, they're going to play the Commanders twice, they're going to play the Cowboys twice. So, again, this division is going to be a lot of fun. But where I wanted to start was the Cowboys left tackle situation. Because Tyron Smith injuring that hamstring, you guys heard the story about the hamstring with the bone, and I'm like, you know what? I don't even want to describe it. Bottom line, he's out. He probably won't be coming back till December. Where do they go? Where does Dallas go with this? They relied on Tyron Smith to be healthy this year. You got to keep Dak Prescott upright. And if you look at their options, it's not good. Internally, free agent market, man, it's bleak. Could the Cowboys trade for Andre Dillard? The Eagles backup left tackle? Could they do that? I'm sure the Eagles are good enough for a first-round pick. Eagles aren't just going to give Andre Dillard to the Cowboys and help a division rival out, so he's out. Who do you go with here? I guess the best option is Tyler Smith, their first-round pick. You can move Tyler Smith over to left tackle. Tyler McGovern plays left guard. Tyler Smith was supposed to be their left guard this year because he wasn't ready to play left tackle yet. And the Giants saw what happened when you put Andrew Thomas in a situation like that. He wasn't ready. Thomas is ready now, but he wasn't his rookie year, and he was the 4th overall pick. Smith was 26th. Tyler Smith can run block with the best of anybody. That's why he got drafted in the first round. He's a really good run blocker. There's a problem. He can't pass block. His movement with his legs just doesn't work. Can you imagine Josh Sweat, Brandon Graham going after him? Aziz Ujulari, Chase Young, when Chase Young's healthy? You got a problem in Dallas. You got a huge problem in Dallas. So who do you go with? I mean, I guess it's got to be Tyler Smith, right? Smith McGovern, that's your best option. Matt Wolazenko, I believe that's how you pronounce it. That is, again, it's a couple of these names are fuzzy, but he started at left tackle on Saturday in the preseason finale and against the Seahawks, and I wasn't too impressed, but Dallas had to give him a shot. Josh Bell, their 4th-round pick from 2021, can't do it. He just can't. I mean, I'm not even sure if he's going to make the team. I do think he does make their 53, but Matt Wolazenko did play left tackle. So you could go there and keep Smith on the inside, but internally, you can't feel good you're the Cowboys with Tyron Smith out. You can't. I mean, here's our free agent list. I heard a couple of guys down here. Nate Solder. Remember the Giants signed him 4 years, $68 million deal a couple years ago? Last time I checked, Nate Solder was allowing 10 sacks. No, you can't sign him. I mean, he doesn't have a job now. Eric Fisher might be your best bet. A year removed from that ruptured Achilles, but he wasn't too great with the Colts last year. That's why they didn't bring him back. The Colts are starting Matt Pryor at left tackle right now. They didn't even consider bringing Eric Fisher back. But Eric Fisher's available. He's a name. He's 31 years old. Might want to give him a shot if you want to keep Smith on the inside. It's a possibility. Probably their best possibility externally. So, a very familiar face with the NFC East. Eagles fans might get a chuckle out of this. You know, who's a free agent who's 40 years old? With the Bears last year? Jason Peters. Dallas can't entertain that, can they? A 4-year-old left tackle who hasn't been close to his prime in about 3-4 years. I mean, I know Peters wants to play in the NFL, but he also doesn't think very highly of the Cowboys either. I can't see the Cowboys signing him, and I can't see him wanting to sign with the Cowboys. I mean, things can change. I mean, they talk. But Eric Fisher is really the only good free agent option, if you want to say that. Trade candidates, I just mentioned Tillard. There's no way the Eagles part with him, not to help a division rival anyway, unless Cowboys give him like a first-round pick or something. But again, I still wouldn't see the Eagles do it. Isaiah Wynn's available from the New England Patriots. Trent Brown's playing left tackle now. Wynn's kind of out of the shuffle. Maybe the Cowboys can get him. But again, you got to part ways with a draft pick. You just want to go internal? Just move Smith over. The future is now. Unless you really want to keep Smith at guard, which I think they'd be better off keeping Smith at guard. Again, Cowboys got some problems on the offensive line. That's 3/5 of their offensive line they just don't have. Connor Williams is gone. La'el Collins is gone. Tyron Smith is not going to be back till December. So you got a problem there in Dallas. You know, if you picked Dallas to win the NFC East a week ago, I would have entertained that very much because I still think they have a lot of talent on that team. But, man, offensive line is everything in the NFL, as you guys know. Offensive line is everything in the NFL. And if you don't have a good offensive line, you don't have a chance. Ask the Chicago Bears. Ask the Los Angeles Chargers, who, by the way, really did improve their offensive line with a Rashad Slater. But they didn't have a right tackle last year. Thornton Norman was one of the worst right tackles in the league, and ultimately it cost them. It's going to cost Dallas. They're going to have to get something. They're going to have to be creative here. I just don't know. I don't know what you do. You banked on Tyron Smith being healthy. You banked on Ezekiel Elliott being healthy. Dak Prescott being healthy. Losing Tyron Smith is like losing Dak Prescott. It's like losing Micah Parsons. You just can't replace these guys. I know the Cowboys drafted in favor of their future. I still think CeeDee Lamb's going to be really, really good for them this year. Their pass game is going to be lethal once Michael Gallup plays. He's not going on the punt list, so that's huge. Dalton Schultz is still really good, but Dak's going to have to get rid of the ball quick, or they're in trouble. They're in big trouble. And defense cannot rely on Trayvon Diggs just allowing 20-yard catches all the time and him fetching for footballs. Trayvon Diggs had a lot of picks last year, but he gave up a lot of yards in coverage. You can't rely on Anthony Brown all the time either. Like, there's concern in Dallas. Jerry Jones can deny it all he wants. there's concern. There's a lot of concern. And if you're an Eagles fan, you got to be paying attention to this. You do. You just have to. You're a Commanders fan, you got to be paying attention to this. And I'll tell you what, in my mind, Dallas is a favorite in this division until they're knocked off their perch. Eagles have their chance in week 6 and week 17, or week 16 on Christmas Eve. You guys know the drill. Week 6 is the biggest game of the year in this division. Eagles-Cowboys Sunday Night Football. The Commanders, again, I think they have an opportunity to split just because of the talent they have. And look, when Chase Young gets healthy, their defensive line is going to be very good. They weren't last year, but I tend to regress to the mean here. They were a top 5 defense when Chase Young was on the field his rookie year. If Chase Young can get back to that level, and I'm not saying his rookie year level, but somewhat close to it, they're going to get after the quarterback. That's why the Eagles have a good offensive line. They know what the Giants are building, too, on their defensive line. Wink Martindale's a good defense coordinator. I like a lot of the personnel moves the Giants made. Unfortunately, the product on the field is just not going to be any good. So it's going to be an interesting year for sure. But I'm just not confident in the Cowboys right now, especially with this Tyron Smith news. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back, and we're going to have Mike Gill on from 97.3 ESPN, the Sports Bash, hosts 2 to 6 every day. Mike and I come on Mike's show 3 times a week, and we talk NFC East. Well, that's what Mike's going to do when we get back from the break.